Product managers, have you ever felt like your career is just stuck on pause? You show up, you do the work, you keep improving, but nothing really moves. Same meetings, same title, same paycheck. And eventually, you start to wonder, is it me? Well, it's not. Because most product managers aren't stuck because they're not good enough. They're stuck because no one showed them how to build a career on purpose. After coaching over 1,000 product managers, I've seen exactly what it takes to break out. In this video, I'll share the 3 shifts that help them grow faster, lead better, and finally get what they deserve. Let's start with the first point. Stop waiting for your career to happen. Most product managers fall into the trap of waiting for their manager to notice them. They assume that good work speaks for itself, but it doesn't. Just like a great product doesn't get noticed without marketing and distribution, your work needs visibility. You have to have the go to market strategy for your own career. And promoting your work isn't about ego, it's about impact. It's about making sure your team and your organization see the results that you're driving. Look, product managers are brilliant at building strategy, roadmaps for their own products, but terrible at building strategy for their own careers. Your career is your most important product. It needs a vision, a roadmap, and intentional execution. So start by asking, what kind of life do I want to create? Your career should support that vision, not the other way around. Once you have that, prioritize what really matters to you in the next role. Look, you can't have everything, so be clear. Is high compensation most important? Is high impact and ownership most important? Do you value life balance and flexibility? Or are you chasing a big, high growth opportunity, even if it's a little risky and it involves tons of work? Think of it as customer research on yourself. Then build your strategy around what's actually feasible given your experience and strengths. Just because you want something doesn't mean you can have it immediately, but you can absolutely design the path that gets you there. For example, one of my clients came in wanting a director of product role at a top company like Google. But when we dug into what they actually valued, creativity, speed, creating structure from ambiguity, we realized they'll be far happier in a CPO role at a early to mid stage startup. And that clarity completely changed their trajectory. Now, if you're realizing that you've been managing your career by accident instead of design, I want to help out. I've opened up some time with my team for some strategy sessions where we'll map out your intentional career strategy. Links in the description. Let's design the career that you actually want. So let's talk about point 2, designing your career like you'll design a product. When you build a product, you start with a vision. You don't just ask, what's our next sprint? You ask, where do we want to be in 3 to 5 years? Your career works the exact same way. Start by defining what your ideal life looks like 3 to 5 years from now, not just your next job. Once you have that clear vision, figure out the steps that will get you there. That becomes your career roadmap. Then, just like any product, you need to understand your market. Ask yourself, where do I have an unfair advantage? What's the unique value that I bring? Now, a lot of people hear that and think it just means, oh, I worked in this industry for a while, so I have domain knowledge. And that's my unique value. And sure, that can be one kind of advantage, but it's not the only one. Let me give you an example. One of my clients was a director of product at a top consumer company. He had spent years mastering user onboarding, user flows that dramatically increased engagement, reduced friction. Now, he was recruiting for a fintech role and he was concerned. He said, look, I don't have any fintech experience. Now, I reached out to the hiring manager, had a conversation about the role, and the hiring manager said, hey, I don't care about fintech experience. I want someone who understands how to create frictionless user experiences, know how to move engagement metrics, how to get users to take the next step. I want somebody who's a master at that. That's the power of identifying your repeatable strengths, the kind of problems you can solve in any domain. Another client was exceptional at designing UX for AI products, specifically helping users trust AI-driven systems. They understood what signals made people comfortable delegating tasks to a machine. That insight became their superpower. They started pitching themselves to companies with AI products by saying, hey, I can help your users trust your product faster. That will lead to more adoption. That will lead you to succeed much better than your competitors. Now, that's unique value. That's positioning. Once you know your strengths and the problems you're best at solving, build your positioning around those high value skills. Become known for solving specific problems that company deeply care about. And finally, create your roadmap with intentional strategic steps, not random job applications. Every move you make should align with your vision, your strengths, and your next growth milestone. This is where the career design canvas comes in. It helps you treat yourself like a product with clear value proposition, a defined market, and a roadmap to reach your next big opportunity. When you start doing that, your career stops feeling accidental, starts feeling like something you're building on purpose. Now, there's 3 pillars of intentional career that I want to make sure you understand. Once you build your career design foundation, the vision, the strategy, the roadmap, you can start focusing on the 3 pillars that hold it all together: clarity, positioning, and systems. Let's break them down. Clarity means knowing exactly what you want and why, not just applying to everything that looks interesting on LinkedIn. This is where I see a lot of people get sidetracked because they'll say, hey, I want this kind of role, but then a recruiter messages about something completely different, and suddenly they're spending energy chasing something they don't even want. You don't have to do that. It's totally okay to respond and say, look, thanks for reaching out. That's not quite what I'm looking for right now. I'm focused on this kind of role. If you come across anything like that, please keep me in mind. And oh, by the way, I'll be happy to recommend others for this one. That's clarity in action. You're teaching the market what to send your way. Next comes positioning. And this is what makes you the obvious choice for the roles that you actually want. Think of it as product marketing for your career. You want to write out your positioning statement, 1 or 2 lines that capture who you are. We call it an intent statement, what you do best, and why you're valuable to the kind of roles that you're targeting. Then you express that at the top of your resume on your LinkedIn and how you talk about yourself in interviews. You don't obviously say that, hey, I'm the obvious choice, but you want to make it clear that you're fit for what they're looking for better than anyone else. And it's always about showing, not telling. Give them the proof rather than claiming to be an expert in something. And finally, systems. So systems are what turn all of these from theory into repeatable success. Who are the people you should be connecting with regularly? What are the key points you want to make in interviews? And how do you steer conversations towards them? Systems help you create consistency in how you network, how you show up, and how you grow. When you combine clarity, positioning, and systems, something powerful happens. You stop chasing opportunities and opportunities start chasing you. Let me give you another example. One of my clients felt completely stuck in their product management career. They'd been applying everywhere, getting nowhere. Now, once we worked through the 3 pillars, they got clear on exactly what they wanted and what they were good at, and they put it out publicly. A simple open to work post on LinkedIn that basically expressed, this is the kind of role I am looking for. Here's where I do my best work. The response from their network was massive. Their network started tagging them in openings. Recruiters reached out with relevant roles. And within a few weeks, they had a massive pipeline. They worked through it. They landed a senior director position at a major enterprise tech company, exactly tailored to what they were looking for. That single act of clarity started a chain reaction. And now they've even moved past that and they're building their own company. That's the compounding power of being intentional. That's the compound effect of being intentional. Once you align your clarity, positioning, and systems, everything else starts to move faster. Look, the fact of the matter is that your career is too important to leave to chance. You never build a product without a strategy. So why do it with your career? Feeling stuck isn't failure, it's feedback. It's a signal that it's time to design what comes next. The best product managers are intentional about everything: their products, their teams, and their own growth. Because one intentional decision can change your entire trajectory. For me, designing my own career intentionally is what led to me building Intentional Product Manager, building a company that now helps thousands of product managers do the same. If you take one thing from this video, remember this: small intentional shifts can lead to massive change. And look, if you're tired of feeling stuck and ready to design a career you're excited about, book a strategy session with my team. We'll help you clarify what you want and develop a step by step plan to achieve it. The link is in the description. And if this resonated with you, watch this video where I break down the exact lessons and frameworks I understood from coaching over 1,000 product managers, talking to 5,000 product managers, and helping them get to the next level.